Imagine a football game late in the fourth quarter, every single thing on the line, when suddenly a moment so bizarre, so archaic, that it feels like it has slipped from the very fabric of the game itself unfolds before your eyes. This is the world of the nearly forgotten rules, the arcane provisions, and the strange tactical footnotes that still linger in the official NFL Rulebook, rarely seen, often misunderstood. We are going to explore those moments when football stretches beyond the official boundaries of common understanding, venturing into the esoteric corners where rules, once vital, now gather dust, only to be dramatically resurrected in moments of pure, unexpected brilliance or strategic desperation. One such rule, often whispered about but rarely witnessed, is the fair catch kick. Imagine the scenario. The game clock is ticking down, seconds remaining in a half, and your team is trailing by a mere 3 points. The opposing punter, from deep in their own territory, launches a towering kick. Your returner signals for a fair catch, securing possession at, say, the opponent's 40-yard line. This isn't just a standard change of possession under NFL rules, it's a golden, if unconventional, opportunity. The fair catch kick rule allows a team, after successfully calling and executing a fair catch on a punt, to attempt a field goal from the precise spot where the catch was made. This isn't your typical field goal attempt. There's no snap, no hurried offensive line trying to protect against a marauding defense, no defensive lineman leaping to block the kick. Instead, the setup is remarkably simple, just the kicker and a holder, often the punter or another special teams player, standing at the spot of the fair catch. The opposing defense is relegated to the role of mere spectators. They must stand still, observe the kick, and are expressly forbidden from rushing the kicker, blocking the attempt, or making any movement to impede the play. If successful, this peculiar maneuver yields 3 points, just like any standard field goal. The rule is not some forgotten relic that slipped through the cracks. It is explicitly detailed and enshrined within the official NFL Rulebook. A legal, albeit almost mythical, pathway to points. Despite its undeniable legality, the fair catch kick remains one of the rarest plays in professional football. Most NFL teams rarely attempt it, and for good reason. Its successful execution requires a perfect storm of specific situational requirements, a precise angle, and often an awkward setup for the kicker. The ball is typically placed directly on the ground or on a small tee provided by the officials, and the kick must be perfectly struck. An ideal scenario for even considering a fair catch kick typically unfolds at the very end of a half, when time is expiring, and the opportunity for a traditional drive is non-existent. The opponent must punt the ball from deep in their territory, allowing the receiving team to make a fair catch with favorable field position, usually around the 40-yard line. Critically, the team attempting the kick must also possess a kicker capable of consistently making extremely long-range field goals. We are talking about attempts from 55-60 yards, or even further, depending on the spot of the catch. The confluence of these factors, the specific game situation, the distance, and the kicker's rare talent makes the fair catch kick a strategic anomaly. The historical record for the fair catch kick is as sparse as its appearances in modern games. The last recorded successful fair catch kick in the NFL occurred way back in 1976, executed by the Kansas City Chiefs' Johnston Arute against the San Diego Chargers. Imagine the surprise and confusion that must have rippled through the stadium that day. Decades passed without another successful attempt, and frankly, without many attempts at all. The last recorded attempt at a fair catch kick was as recent as 2019 during a game between the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In that instance, the Panthers kicker, Joey Sly, attempted a 60-yard fair catch kick from the 50-yard line due to a penalty on the fair catch at the end of the first half, but it ultimately missed wide left. Even with this recent attempt, the fair catch kick remains a legal part of the NFL Rulebook, even if it is seldom seen and often misunderstood by even the most avid fans. It's not just the NFL where this rule exists. In college football, governed by the NCAA, the fair catch kick rule is remarkably similar, also allowing a free kick after a fair catch. This continuity highlights its deep roots in the sport. Indeed, the fair catch kick originates from rugby rules, where a player who makes a mark, a fair catch, is allowed to take an uncontested kick at goal. It's a direct lineage from rugby's early influence on American football. The strategy behind the fair catch kick is deceptively simple: to capitalize on favorable field position gained from a long punt, typically when time is expiring and no other scoring opportunity exists. It's a low-risk, high-reward play if all the conditions align. However, the difficulty lies not only in the precise ball placement required for such a long kick, but also in the consistent long-distance kicking ability demanded, especially from an awkward setup. The rarity of the specific game situation arising means teams rarely get to practice it in a live setting, let alone execute it flawlessly when it counts. While the most common application is after a punt, a variation exists where it can technically be attempted from a scrimmage kick, though this is even rarer. Due to its potential for a significant, unexpected advantage, some teams reportedly practice the fair catch kick in secret, keeping it in their back pocket as a break glass in case of emergency strategy. Beyond the fair catch kick, the NFL Rulebook holds other fascinating archaic gems, none more visually distinct than the drop kick. Unlike the precision of a place kick, where the ball is held upright by a holder or placed on a tee, the drop kick requires the kicker to drop the ball and kick it immediately after it bounces off the ground. The objective is the same, to send the ball through the uprights for 3 points on a field goal or 1 point on an extra point. However, the execution is an entirely different beast. The drop kick is considered an extremely difficult maneuver in American football, primarily due to the oblong shape of the football. Unlike a spherical soccer ball or rugby ball, which is more ovular and predictable, the American football's irregular bounce makes it incredibly challenging to predict its trajectory and strike it cleanly just after it touches the turf. The timing for a successful drop kick is absolutely critical. Even a half-second error in the drop or the contact can lead to a completely failed attempt, often resulting in a shanked kick or a ball that barely gets off the ground. The drop kick, much like the fair catch kick, is almost never seen in modern NFL play. Its last successful appearance in an NFL game is etched into recent memory, but still feels like a historical footnote. It was executed by the legendary Doug Flutie in 2006, playing for the New England Patriots at the ripe age of 43 in his final career game. Flutie, a versatile former quarterback known for his improvisational skills, successfully drop-kicked an extra point against the Miami Dolphins. It was a nostalgic moment, a nod to football's past, and a testament to Flutie's unique skill set. Before Flutie's memorable kick, the last successful NFL dropkick had occurred in the 1940s, highlighting just how rare the play is. While primarily a historical curiosity, the dropkick does technically remain a viable option for an extra point, especially in an emergency scenario, such as if a team's primary holder is injured and no suitable backup is available. In such a dire situation, a quarterback or another player with some kicking prowess might be forced to attempt a dropkick out of sheer necessity. In rugby, by contrast, the dropkick is a common and fundamental method for scoring field goals, known as drop goals, during open play, and for various restarts like kickoffs. The reason for its diminished utility in American football lies in the ball itself. The larger, less spherical American football is far less forgiving than its rugby counterpart, making a consistent, accurate drop kick immensely more challenging. Early American football, heavily influenced by its rugby origins, often featured the drop kick as a common element. Historical records indicate that early American football teams regularly attempted drop kicks for field goals. Long before the specialization of place kickers became prevalent, players were often all-around athletes who handled multiple roles, including kicking. However, the development of specialized equipment, such as kicking tees for place kicks, and the evolution of a more aerodynamic football designed for passing rather than bouncing, gradually contributed to the decline of the drop kick. The efficiency and reliability of the place kick simply made the unpredictable drop kick obsolete in a sport increasingly focused on precision and consistent execution. Moving from the esoteric kicking rules, we encounter a modern adaptation that has significantly altered the dynamic of one of football's most electrifying and dangerous plays, the fair catch on kickoffs. This rule, implemented with player safety as its paramount concern, allows a receiving team player to fair catch the ball anywhere on the field during a kickoff. The consequence of this signal is profound. If a fair catch is called on a kickoff, the ball is automatically placed at the 25-yard line for the receiving team, often referred to colloquially as a free catch kick return, or more simply, the fair catch to the 25s rule. This provision was a direct response to growing concerns over head injuries. Kickoff returns are notoriously high-impact plays involving high-speed collisions between players running in opposite directions. The primary objective of this rule is to mitigate these head injuries by encouraging kicking teams to kick the ball into the end zone for a touchback, or deep enough that a return is ill-advised, thereby reducing the number of return opportunities and, consequently, the number of violent collisions. It also provides returners with a crucial option to avoid contact and potential injuries. Even if the ball is caught inside the 25-yard line, say at the 10-yard line, by signaling a fair catch, the receiving team is guaranteed possession at the 25-yard line. This effectively grants the receiving team 25 yards of field position without the risk of a tackle or injury, a significant advantage in certain situations. While lauded by player safety advocates, this policy often generates criticism from traditionalist fans and even some special teams coaches who prefer the more dynamic, high-contact kickoff returns that were once a staple of the game. They argue it diminishes the excitement and strategic depth of special teams. Regardless of opinion, the rule has had its intended effect, leading to a significant decrease in kickoff returns and a corresponding increase in touchbacks. This fundamental change in kickoff strategy has shifted the dynamic of special teams play, requiring kickers to emphasize hang time and precise placement over sheer distance, as simply booming the ball through the end zone now carries no extra benefit over a fair catch at the 25. Finally, we turn our attention to an architectural anomaly that necessitated a specific NFL rule, the punt hitting the scoreboard rule, affectionately known as the Jerry Jones rule. This rule addresses a highly specific and rather bizarre situation where a punt strikes an overhead obstruction within a stadium. The genesis of this